King Jr. got another video for y'all. Please sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. And also, share the video to get all your latest boxing news. And be sure to hit that bell icon to always stay notified as soon as I release the news that comes out. With that being said, guys, Demetrius Andrade was recently in an interview, and he was talking about fighting basically Chris Eubanks Jr. I believe he said something like Sky Sports and stuff like that was willing to pay him over $1 million, and Demetrius Andrade was shocked that he's going to finally get a chance to make a million plus. And it's kind of sad that Demetrius Andrade can't get more money in the sport of boxing for his talent. But you got guys out here like Ryan Clout Garcia, who obviously hasn't fought anybody but cab drivers, and he's getting paid $2 million plus. And you got George Kambosos out here who's getting paid $10 million, and Demetrius Andrade clamoring, thinking $1 million is a lot of money. He says it's life-changing money. And I feel like Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo should have fought each other, despite the debacle of the two going back and forth. We know the situation where Demetrius Andrade pulled out the fight a few days out the fight with Jamal Charlo, and ever since then they have never did business whatsoever. And so Demetrius Andrade could be potentially having a showdown with Chris Eubanks Jr. Apparently, Demetrius Andrade said that they were offering $1 million to fight Chris Eubanks Jr. next. We know that Chris Eubanks Jr. is going to be basically busy, and he's going to be fighting Conor Benn, the son of Nigel Benn, and Chris Eubanks Jr. and Chris Eubanks Sr. They obviously don't want to make that fight because it's a history, there's a storyline, and it'll be a massive fight in the UK. So either if Chris Eubanks Jr. is successful, which I think it is, because Conor Benn is going to pull a stunt just like Kell Brook, going from 147 to 160, even though Kell Brook was outboxing Triple G. When he got hit, it was clearly over for him. And I think that when Chris Eubanks Jr. hit Conor Benn, because Conor Benn is a smaller man, and Chris Eubanks Jr. is significantly bigger than Conor Benn, I think the fact of the matter is that Chris Eubanks is going to basically either stop Conor Benn or knock out Conor Benn. But I wouldn't be surprised if the fight goes the distance because you know, the tides and fixes that goes on into the sport of boxing today. And I feel like Demetrius Andrade should be fighting Jamal Charlo because it's a bigger fight. You get more money. But I can't blame Demetrius Andrade anymore. You know, he has been calling for the Charlo fight. I actually reported that Demetrius Andrade was clamoring for the Charlo fight now. Since both of those guys can get a fight, why not fight each other now? But it's the fact of the matter is that these guys just don't want to do business together. Obviously, this is a fight that we're never going to see in the sport of boxing. Demetrius Andrade is going to fight Chris Eubanks Jr. next. I don't know if the WBO is going to allow him to do that because he has a WBO mandatory against Janabek, which a lot of people feel like that Janabek is a rough, rugged fighter, and he's going to take advantage of Demetrius Andrade, beat Demetrius Andrade, because Demetrius Andrade has a lot of miles on his legs. But I feel like Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo should have been fought. This is kind of sad that Demetrius Andrade thinking that $1 million is a lot of money, but you got guys like Ryan Garcia, George Kambosos, and Teofimo Lopez is getting paid more money than Demetrius Andrade, and they're in lower weight classes. And Demetrius Andrade basically been at middleweight basically almost his entire career, and he's just now saying he's finally get to see $1 million plus. It's very sad how the way they treat certain type of fighters. And you know, I just feel like, look, after Chris Eubanks Jr., I would be trying to unify with Jamal Charlo, which he has been on record trying to unify with Jamal Charlo. But Jamal Charlo is out here running his mouth saying he's going to move to 168, fight David Benavidez. He's been doing all this stuff. I'm not going to put too much pressure on Demetrius Andrade. I would have just have liked to see both guys fight, make more money together. It's a bigger fight than Chris Eubanks Jr. But at the end of the day, like Demetrius Andrade said, you got to do what it takes for your family. You know, I'm glad he's seeing $1 million, but I feel like he should be getting paid more than $1 million for his talent. It's just sad to see a fighter like Demetrius Andrade, you know, even though he, despite making all the bad business move in his career, and I'm hoping he's doing well with his money. I'm hoping he's doing great with his money. Hope he ain't doing nothing too stupid. But, you know, it's just sad that a guy with that so much talent, and he just never couldn't clinch on to the big fights because of the business-wise and stuff like that. He would have been he could have potentially been undisputed at 160 if Canelo would have gave him the opportunity, and it would have been the biggest bag of his career. But it went south from there, and Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade could have fought at 160 a few years back because both of those guys had belts. Because we know that Triple G wasn't going to fight him. But at the end of the day, Demetrius Andrade, I wish you nothing but the best in your career. Hope you get that Chris Eubanks Jr. fight. Hope you make that big bag. And I personally think he's going to beat Chris Eubanks Jr. Chris Eubanks Jr. is not Roy Jones Jr. I don't know why Roy is teaching him to be himself. He's just simply not Roy Jones Jr. A lot of stuff that Chris Eubanks Jr. does wrong. Demetrius Andrade is fundamentally sound, big southpaw, wiry, long frame. Demetrius Andrade ring IQ is way too high, but Demetrius Andrade is starting to slow down his career. When he fought Liam Williams, he did get hurt a couple of times in that fight, but he weathered through the storm and wound up beating Liam Williams. And I feel like if he's successful against Chris Eubanks Jr., he's going to have more problems with Janabek. Janabek is looking to take somebody's belt very soon. And I feel like Demetrius Andrade, I would love to see him win up to 68, fight David Benavidez, and fight all the other guys. I think he would get paid more money. I think he'll get paid over $1 million if you fight David Benavidez, because David Benavidez, I don't know if David Benavidez is making millions on millions, but David Benavidez's name is really starting to get out there. He's going to become a superstar someday in the sport of boxing. I'm not saying like a mega star like Ford, but he's going to be a known name because he puts on a show. He show you his hand speeds. He's showing you that his accumulation punch and power. He's showing that he can wear you down in such short amount of time. But Demetrius Andrade, I have to blame him in this situation. He does make bad business moves, bad business for his career. And this is what you get. You could have had bigger bags if you would have made smarter business moves and stuff like that, but it comes back to bite you at the end of the day. So with that being said, guys, it is what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. This is your boy King Jr. I'm out of here. Peace.